Gail Madison.
Geraldine Chandler.
Phyllis Springer.
Minnie Duraso.
Ladies, I want to thank you so very much for giving your time today and having this conversation about the Black Catholic experience. Being Catholic is one thing, and being Black and Catholic is something entirely different as well. So would appreciate just hearing what your experience have been, and also after that, some advice you would give to the young Catholics today. So, what does it mean to you to be Catholic and Black?
Well, it was an experience to learn about the Catholic group that was in our community. And I did that through my mother, who she was not Catholic, but she wanted her children to go to a Catholic school because she thought we would learn better.
Okay.
And we did. And I enjoyed it so much. The nuns and the fathers were very good to us, and it made us enjoy coming to school and to church, because it got to be a thing at our home. If you didn't go to church, you didn't go anywhere else all week.
Okay. That's a good value to even use today.
Yeah.
And so, what about you?
Well, I didn't have much of a choice. My household was Catholic, so I was born into the Catholic Church. I didn't have any other frames of reference. I started St. Monica, 23 Jackson Street. I was 3 years old because we didn't have a permanent church for a long time. But being Catholic, well, at some point it was considered elitist, I think, and we were kind of frowned on among our Protestant fellow students. But the experience with the nuns and the priests was something I wouldn't exchange for anything.
So it sounds like the rudiment of having a Catholic education was also beneficial and is also good.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Springer.
I became Catholic when I was 23 days old at St. Anselm's in Chicago. And I guess, as Geraldine said, we didn't know a difference. It was all we knew was being a Catholic. And we really didn't find out a difference in being Black and white until I was up in our adulthood, maybe our teenage years. We probably found out a little difference, but being called cat lickers, but we just beat them up.
I knew you were a fighter. I've always known that. Yes, ma'am.
And my cohorts with me.
Okay, all right. So, cohort, you want to add to that?
Many.
Well, I grew up in a home with excommunicated Catholic and a devout Methodist.
Wow.
And my father had laid the rule down that we could decide what we wanted to be. And by the nuns coming to the library, and the library at that time was walking distance from my house, we always participated with the nuns and everything, learned everything about the Catholic Church and everything, but I didn't really join until later, in which I enjoyed the experience of being a Catholic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sometimes there are these theories out there, or people who really don't know. They say things like, well, you guys kneel too much, or you do that too much, or you're praying to Mary for this. And when they come and they experience that we worship Jesus, just as everybody else does. But the wonderful thing that someone just said earlier about being Catholic is knowing that you can go to a mass anywhere in the world and you'll get the same teaching. So it's uniform. It's
One of my experiences was that I went to the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris.
Oh, yes.
wow.
And they had all people from everywhere. The church was packed. I didn't understand what he said,
Okay.
but I could follow the mass because it's a ritualistic type, and I could follow everything that was preached.
No matter where you go.
Yeah. So, given the framework that some of you were born into a Catholic home, you moved into the faith later on in life. The experiences that you have, what would you give to our young people today in terms of the dreams and the hopes they have, and how to hold on to their faith and let their faith guide them?
They need to find a faith or what they would be comfortable with that says why you are in it. Not to be ashamed to be in it. Because children, they want to do things that make them feel good and make them learn. Because most children want to be able to sing what they want to sing and say what they want to do. And that just makes them feel better about themselves. That's what your religion should do for you.
And instead of so quickly giving up on something, try to be one of those who brings about a change to make it what you want it to be. The children are always our future in all of our endeavors, and if the church is going to continue, we need the children to get involved because we need them to be nuns and priests. And if they don't get involved at an early age, then we're going to lose so many valuable people, young people.
So how do we overcome, Mrs. Springer, you brought up children in the church. They are working in liturgy and in every a lot of facets in the church. What advice did you give them, and would that be the same advice you would give to young people today?
Well, I really didn't give them any advice.
Okay.
If you stayed in my house on Saturday night, you went to church on Sunday.
All
Or
right.
you didn't eat.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. And Minnie?
Well, I did tell my daughter that I told her without God in her life, she would not prosper. She needed Him in order to make different advances and whatnot. And she would have to keep God in her life.
So it sounds like you all agree, that God is the center, and that your parents brought you up loving God, learn and allowing you to get and have your own relationship with God. And that's the same advice you would give our young people today, I gather?
Yes.
And hopefully we gave them that advice by example.
Right.
Absolutely.
Vicki Cochran,